quiet intro. I think you're muted.
I don't know if Eric's muted on my end or on stream end. We're gonna have to find out.
I think he is muted.
Eric?
You know,
It's okay.
it happens. Welcome back to the LCS Challengers League for the second time, but this time you can actually hear me. We're going the distance, guys. We got our work. We're really loaded up on work now, as every single game has gone to a game 3. That's why I'm slipping up on these mute buttons right now. It's just been a packed day.
It has. But it is a fun day, nonetheless, because we have had that bounce back from EG that we really wanted to see.
Yeah, and again, taking us to a series, EG able to clean up on that game number 2 and give us a pretty good fight. And as we kind of cool down from some of the heat we were able to get, I do want to throw it over to a segment called Who's That Player? No, it's not going to be a Who's That Pokemon meme. I just couldn't come up with a fancy enough name for it. This is going to be a little bit more on the casual side. We're going to guess based off some of the fun facts provided on who is that player that Deathstroke
I wonder where you got this idea from.
Right.
Crazy. Who knows?
All my game shows have been like the most bland names. Like, what is Deathstroke's drawing is one of them, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't got the creativity there.
I don't know if you. I used to do Who's That Player all the time last year, so I'm just saying, Deathstroke. I'm your grandfather now, but I don't know how that works.
Okay, yeah, I stole from Kangas, now I steal from you. Let's get into the segment, shall we? I'm going to start listing off some facts. Let me know what you think of the fact and who you think it might be related to. This first one coming up, start this off slow. This person started off playing League of Legends. They were 11 years old.
11? Ooh.
Now, 2 years later, they hit Masters at 15 years old. Favorite subject in high school? Drama.
Ooh.
Comes off to you as a dramatic type.
Soul?
Keep going.
We're gonna stop right there because Mazel just got it.
Bada bing! Let's go!
Wow.
The final fact was going to be his name. His original name was a reference to the fact that he was a Yone one-trick. He thought it was hilarious if people would lose to a Yone one-trick named Anime Girl. Because you don't know, his old name was Anime Girl. His new name, by the way, is a reference to Soulja Boy, which I didn't know until recently.
Yeah, I said that one on the podcast for Raising an A. That was fun. It was fun having him. And hey, Soul, really nice game on Cassante for the first 2. I wonder if that might be something that AOE looks to deny moving forward. He's been good.
I think it's fun facts and getting the origins of some of these names. I want to ask you guys. Mazel, we know yours. We know yours. Yes. It's related to your actual name. Cubby, what about you?
Oh, this is bad.
He's a bear.
All right.
Look, he has 2 bears right next to him.
So, in order to get the full story, it is still my YouTube channel. But my original gamer tag was Cubby Matster 6, all right? Okay. So it's like Cubby Master, except my name's Matt. So I threw the Matster in there. I thought I was really cool as a 6th grader. And then 6 was my favorite number. I was also in 6th grade at the time. That was too long to say. So, you know, my friends, like when we grew up playing a different game, the iteration of the game was called Black Ops out at the time. And, you know, they'd be like, oh, Cubbies. Like, that just kind of caught. I've had that name now for like 14 years because of them back home. So, served me well.
It's all right. We all have cringy name origins, almost all of us, except for Mazel here, apparently. But, you know, there's the old Scara, Scarred for Life. Myself, I picked a Latin word that meant death, and I just modified it until it became this, just so I could have my own gamer tag. So, I got a little bit of edge in there, Cubby. You know, my 6th grade self was up.
Yeah, it is a Cubs reference, again, in a sense. I was a big Cubs fan. This is Wrigley Field behind me. I have like a bunch of other stuff at home that I didn't bring out here, but we had to bring a little bit of home out to LA, you know.
All right. Next player coming in now. This player enjoys watching some hockey. In fact, it's not just enough to watch hockey. Let's get some wings and beer as the meal of choice. You don't even let me get it all out. Mazel, what the heck, man?
How the hell do you know all this stuff?
Why are you demolishing Cubby right now? Is this revenge for the last one?
I'm doing it on you. Sorry, I'm doing it the other way.
Oh, wrong way. There we go.
I just know these players too well. Just saying.
I have a conspiracy theory going on in my head that I'm going to repeat. And I'm not going to say on air.
So Mazel closes it close. Just don't let him see. Don't let him see the DMs.
It might be the amount of times last year I had to check the Academy survey that we did, and I literally like know so many weird like likes and facts about a lot of players that never comes up unless I use them for game shows. So thank you, Desrex.
Skytech, if at any point you want to get some wings and beer in off season and watch sports,
that's the guy right there.
That sounds great.
I'm in.
Great.
Little other facts. The obvious one was he loves to innovate a lot of champion picks and builds. One of the first ones he ever did was Rakan in the mid lane AP build, and he got Challenger off of that one through that play.
That's awesome.
What is going to be Sky's tech? That is the question Grapes likes to say, and that's what I'm always wondering as well. Yeah, Vi.
Where's
Vi
the
in that support
Callista?
role.
I need the rel. I need the rel. I need Link's Callista. I need the rel.
All right, let's move on to our next player. This one, Mazel, please try not to get it too fast this time. You gotta give Cubby a chance.
Try my bro. I'll dial it back a little bit. All right.
I feel like he's just gonna get it out the gate. This player's main hobby, it's cooking.
That's it. There was a lot of people in the survey that just put cooking because it was an easy answer.
Okay. I can calm down a little bit now.
I'm scanning.
This player has gone pro in League of Legends, but also went pro in another title.
That's Gamsu.
What's the game, Mazel?
Oh yeah, I should have gotten that one there.
Watch.
Yep, Overwatch.
Yeah, where he was a split champion for the Shanghai Dragons, and a really good tank player.
I'm just gonna a little bit with my non-existent muscles.
Yeah, we don't need a scoreboard at this point. Mazel has taken over completely.
Get sweeped.
Yeah, I remember the whole thing with last year. Dignitas, they called him Chef Gamsu for a while. Just to cook for the squad. Which brings up the topic, hobbies. What do we got here?
For us?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like to play Warhammer. That's fun.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if the stream knows this, but I do like golf. I haven't been doing that a lot. I ran 50 miles this past week. It's not bad.
Wow. A lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. Might be why my back's sore today.
Maybe.
But honestly, my only hobby right now is League of Legends. I've watched probably 20 episodes of a show in the last like 8 weeks, and that's about it.
Okay.
So like I got through F1 Drive to Survive, and I got through Full Swing, and then I have to go through the finale of The Last of Us, and that's been it. I do some cooking too.
Interesting.
And very expensive hobby there.
I'm actually the house cleaner. Fun. That's actually my hobby right now.
That's your hobby.
That's the hobby.
Yeah, my hobby is cleaning the house because my roommates, not the greatest at cleaning
flame
up.
Joshi and Rafa right here right now.
Catch the fucking hey, catch the flag. Catch the flag.
Walking away, man.
It's a long day, baby. It's been a very, very long day for all of us.
Oh, I've never slipped up like that before.
Everybody gets one, Cubby. Everybody gets one.
Mazel, put him in the dirt. This person enjoys basketball.
God.
Oh no. Yeah, we're a little red. Yeah, all right. Oh boy.
That's either gotta be. Ooh, is it actually?
Oh wait, basketball.
Right,
20.
Okay.
This is how you redeem yourself?
Yes.
After all this is how you redeem yourself.
Yes.
Redemption is found. It is, in fact, Winnie.
I thought it was either Winnie or Darkwing.
No, you know why I know this?
Why?
Because in the off season there is a pickup basketball game that's trying to be put together, and I, as a runner, offered to join.
Oh gosh.
I worked at a sports camp.
I
worked, but I got my
Boy Scout camp one time.
I got my butt kicked by
when
some
I was
8th
a
grade
kid.
like AAU players. That was my job at the camp. I
don't know if I would want you as a camp counselor.
I was a great camp counselor. Counselor Cubby. I was fantastic.
I'm very glad you've come down from the color of red you were just a couple of seconds ago.
You need to take his face off screen for a little bit to do that.
I got tomato red. That is
little extra facts. Obviously known that he's a player that came up through the Legion space, made a big name over there. Said their ideal summer activity is going on a 20-game winning streak in League of Legends.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good off-season activity.
What are your hobbies? League of Legends, Winnie is somewhat with you. Just have the basketball alongside it. But that is going to do it for
The
Who's
wins
That
are the
Player.
most important one.
I think Mazel has pretty much just stomped this one out 3-1.
I at least
job.
redeemed myself after, yeah.
You know, on this handoff for that, Mazel, let's just flex it together, baby. Let's flex it
I
together.
don't have any muscles. I don't.
Let's flex it together, Mazel, and send it to our final game of the day.
We got our final game of our third day here. It is elimination time for one of these two teams. It's AOE versus EGC, and we will have no swap of sides here, Cubby. I hope you've got as much energy as me and Desex are ready to pack, as Kindred is that constant ban from AOE, and so is the Varus on the side of EG.
Do we see first pick Viego again for AoE? I feel like Winnie's played it all right. I think the biggest problem for AoE in that last game was that Jinx, Syndra, Lulu, the front to back, or Aphelios, it was so tough for him to just get in range and get involved. Because it was like they were just playing around scatter the entire time. Yeah. So I think that was a big problem for AoE. I think that is going to be something they really do change up. And if they take away Syndra on 4 or 5, I want to see EG take Orianna on 4. I think this champ's way too strong. I think we're going to see a very similar first 3 here.
Yeah, I mean, we got the same bans
probably
as well
Viego
from last game.
Oh.
It could be a little bit of a change up here as well. It is going to be that change up. The Wukong locked in for Winnie, so away from that Viego.
Now, I mean, my eyes then go on to Orianna for Dark Wings. I feel like this makes even more sense being away from the Viego, just the fact you get the Wombo combo with the Wukong. But this does open up that Viego for EG. Also opens up bot lane options for EG. Have to imagine that Jinx is still going to be that priority pick for mobility. And we might see that, but it is
there's the Viego
time for Shaden's Viego. It has been denied from him for the entire tournament. And in the do or die game, Shaden is on his champion, and he's going to look to step up for his squad.
Interesting. They decided to take that Lee Sin out from under him, but leaving that one open, saying that Shaden actually looked pretty good on the Wukong last time around. Now that Lulu locked in, same place, same time as last game as well. They really want to circle back to this composition that seemingly worked so well for EGC.
Let's see. Do we take away Jinx this time around? I think that's one of the curious things. As I'm expecting.
I didn't mind the Aphelios though. Like I feel like that's okay. If I say I get my pick, I get the Kalista and Rel, but it's not what is the case. The Jinx is there.
You could take Orianna now, because if you take Ori now, it puts EG in a really tough spot where they either have to take the Syndra, which they probably can't do because they need a marksman to pair up with Lulu, which you would be able to deny too. So I think that's one way that you might be able to switch up the draft that could be really good for AoE, taking something like Orianna now.
What their final pick in the first phase is going to be, what that kind of response is in the ADC pool for EGC. Is that Orianna pick that you highlighted?
So EG has a really hard choice to make, because it's either you drop marksman or you drop mid. So I think it's a really good call by AoE to take that Ori then. Personally,
it's Zeri.
It's going to be Zeri. So again, Zeri does suffer from range issues against Ori plus Jinx, but you do, with the new build we've been seeing of Shieldbow and then Bloodthirster's second or third, you can get a lot of sustain to try and actually tank that up and walk forward. But yeah, it's going to be different because AoE should be taking away Cinder here. Jinx, Orianna, very vulnerable to Cinder. You do have fast execute, but Ryoma proved that you can play that. Just don't give him that again, right? Make him beat you with something else.
Make sure he doesn't get beat again by that. And I do like that. EGC not really changing up things in the second phase on their side of things, but I do wonder if we get something. Okay, it's the forward engage. At least the Nautilus taken away from Skytech, but still some options on the table.
I would also ban Rise if I'm AoE. I actually think that we could see a Rise.
They banned the LeBlanc last time.
They did.
I wonder if they leave that one open this time.
LB is playable.
LB with Shaden on the Viego feels like a very deadly duo.
It's not the strongest mid-jungle 2v2. I think that there might be stronger options.
Ooh, it's the interesting.
Okay, so there's full control mage. I for Rise, for me, I mean, EG, they still do like to play fast. They have enough damage with everything else. Okay, it's actually going to be the blind Sejuani coming out. So we're going to have Soul playing that at the top side.
Yeah, I actually really like that, and that was something we teased in game 1 where they were hovering the Sejuani, trying to find a little bit of flexibility with that. They do go ahead and use that flexibility. Now, this is a pick we've already obviously talked about for Skytech, one of his crazy picks he likes to bring, but also something that he feels very confident and comfortable on. He's going to go ahead and give us a little bit of fun highlight reel of all his picks. And it looks like it is the Rel. Yes! We get it. I love SkyTech on the Rel. I think with the Jinx, it's going to be interesting, and Lynx and SkyTech need to step up with this combo.
It does make life hell for frontliners over on the side of EG. And yeah, it's not like Thresh Peel. You don't have a Lantern for the Jinx, but there's so much AoE ultimates already showing from AoE that this is pretty playable on their side. As I did tease the Mordekaiser as an answer into the Scion. Looks like that's actually just going to be the answer.
There it is.
Into EG. I like this. You can take away comfort. You can take away Viego, take away Sejuani. Taking away Lulu is really big for Zeri too. And I think this forces EG. Again, they got to play fast. I think it's going to be an Akali here for Ryoma. He's got a lot of good targets. It's tough into Rel, but it's one way to get around like all the AoE ultimates if you are able to execute it correctly. So Ryoma with the
Akali. It has
been
banned away from him. And he's finally getting his hands on that one.
Yeah, going to be looking to play fast.
And I think when you look at this, you obviously get mobility on the Zeri, the Lulu giving a little bit of that late game insurance at least from the bot lane, but it really is about Shaden and Ryoma getting off the ground, using Soul potentially to help set these up once level 6 is upon us, and really AoE looking at team fights to be their bread and butter.
So the curious thing for me this game, I think that Shaden has more options of where to path because you have that Sejuani in the top side. Ganking for Sejuani is really strong, especially when you are Viego and Mordekaiser has no way to get out of that early. So I think that EG, it's going to be some sort of go top clear for Shaden. If he's not going top, that's pretty surprising to me. I think that bot lane could be under siege because of that, because AoE. My question is, do they match Shaden trying to attack the Mordekaiser, or do they just say, hey, screw that, Moore's going to be good later, he's going up against a tank, that's fine. If he goes 0-1, 0-2, we're okay with that, play bot. I think that's going to be a big choice for AoE early in this game.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to level 6, you don't have to worry about a gank as much. It's just a 1v1 you got to worry about. But we hit the Rift for our final game of the day. It's an elimination match in the lower bracket of our NACL Spring Playoffs. It's AOE Gold versus Evil Geniuses Challengers. And we get a spicy level 1 attempted from AOE yet again. See if they can find something to capitalize on.
SkyTech doing some fun Rel stuff is spotted. So for me with AoE, their comp is good later. They just need to make sure they are peeling back, utilizing Orianna Shockwave, utilizing SkyTech to stall these fights and buy space for the big backline carries. EG need to get going early. I think that they can play through top, and also playing through mid, freeing up Ryoma could be really big to attack some of the squishier members, because Ryoma does have really good targets this game. So I think that's kind of the dichotomy of this game, this draft. And Shaden, he's starting on that bot side. I said that we were going to look out for this right off the bat. Shaden's working up towards the top side, so he wants to attack this Mordekaiser, and at the moment, Winnie's going to start Raptors, so he has options where to go from here.
We will see both sides start on the bottom side. We did get a little bit of vision from EG on the top side now, so we'll have some info back, just as AoE do. And we want to give a shout out to Evil Genius's social media there, calling out the reverse sweep stopping, or starting at least here for EG.
Hey.
And it has been a heck of a series for both teams. We needed that bounce back from EG. We got it, but we got such a strong presence in game 1 from AoE. Trying to harken back to that a little bit.
I mean, we saw a wildcard reverse sweep COG Faith. That's not something I thought I'd say at the start of the day. But who knows? Maybe EG can pull it off too. Just the luck of the stream.
It's the luck of the stream. And I do expect this bot lane for EG to play a little bit more passively down there. Obviously looking at the top trio for EG. While on the other side for AoE, it is SkyTech's Rel, but it is also something where you can get a lot of roam out. You can get a lot of setup in connection with Winnie. And hopefully that will be the case for AoE.
And the clear that Winnie has gone for, so this is a clear where, you're trying to get that fast 6, right? Those AoE camps are going to respawn the fastest off the bat. Okay.
So you typically are at low health when you are the Akali trying to get trades early on, but that is a little bit too low.
that's not great. So Ryoma with second win and D-Shield should be able to sustain back up, but I would see a couple nerfs to D-Shield. I still think it's fine, but hey, maybe that's playing in a little bit to Ryoma having the flash early there. So a little bit of an advantage here for AoE.
And you see this push and move style from AoE, even in this early part. That is going to be super integral. We will see those full side clears come out for both junglers, though. We'll have Scuttlecrab to fight over on top side potentially. But now that Ryoma doesn't have his flash, we'll need to see if that is revisited by AoE.
And EG short of that ward too, so Couple things we expect to be textbook for our Challengers players. Maybe going to the wayside. A little bit of the nerves showing, as of course this is a pretty intense game. And oh boy,
Ooh.
oh boy.
Both really ready to pull the trigger right there. Shaden trying to get the opt-in on the fight, but it will be that Scuttle Crab going to Winnie. Ryoma pushing Darkwings off the wave a little bit.
And Shaden has to kind of help Ryoma shove this in, because if not, then yeah, that's Winnie can actually bully out and force for this other crab. Darkwing is going to pull the wave.
Double scuttle, yeah. I think they just pull back.
Yeah, and that's it. Wow. So not only is it double scuttle, but also Winnie can return to his camps that are now respawning and give, you know, that bonus XP and the Raptors and the Krugs, and he's going to feel really good after that phase.
Let's see what it has wrought here. As Dragon number 1 coming up in less than a minute. We want to see if EG want to take those to start early stack. You said AOE are fine with those late game team fights, so maybe getting some of those objectives earlier on helps EG and gives them a little bit of pressure. But it's going to be difficult to have priority in bot lane at this point, as we do see Shaden actually hovering around the spot side of the map, having finished that clear.
He's got that Gromp for himself. And yeah, you called it out, Mizzell. Like, the cannon just had to be dropped here by the EG bot lane, knowing that they don't want to walk in the Skytech. And also that Winnie can be bot at this timer. As they probably assume that he started on the Raptors himself. So, some good patience by EG. But still, when we talked about this game, you know, pregame, Mizzell always said that, hey, EG, they can't play through top. They have to get things going early. Where are we at right now with EG? They haven't gotten anything done.
Yeah.
They're falling behind a little bit. The scaling from AOE. It's going to be scary with that Orianna and Jinx.
I guess now next stopping point, it feels like, for EG is that level 6 mark. So obviously Ryoma getting that perfect execution will be huge. The shutdown from Shaden can help at least to get that CC stat up for it. But it is a question of getting there and doing that. And we don't want to see a match where Shaden on the Viego is just playing back, farming up, and not getting any advantages. We saw actually Winnie able to do a really good job of playing a reactive Viego play in game number 1. See if that does anything here maybe for Shaden. But right now, a lot of trades on the bot side, 2v2s for both, as Soul is here with Shaden, but you have the Death Realm pop, and Soul getting a little bit finicky here. Didn't have level 6, and he's out of there with the flash. Gamsu, he's doing huge things, dissuading a lot of the pressure from Shaden early.
Level 6 diff, real big there for the side of Gamsu and AOE, and that's going to be the difference on why he's able to sneak on out. So well played by Gamsu. That was what we were looking for, though, for Shaden. And now Shaden, because of that play, he's actually reversed his clear. So now he's going to be working towards the bot side. Maybe we see if EG can make a play on bot, or if they can look to play for Dragon here before Herald spawns.
And I think there's an obvious point where, like, if the idea is there, if the possibility is there, of course giving mobility a little bit of gold early is great. I mean, Zeri does incredible things once you get to 2-3 items. But it is more so that focus of Ryoma, Shaden needing to have gold to be influential in these moments. And while we haven't gotten a lot of vision around Dragon Pit, that priority kind of taken off that early objective, we do see Shaden actually trying to put up a fight while Winnie's going for his 3rd Scuttle Crab.
I think Shaden's going to get it. Ryoma did take a tower shot there, so he's going to be a little bit careful.
No shockwave left, just a little bit of poke as Ryoma walks out. So at least Shaden gets the Scuttle Crab. The bottom one maybe will be coming up very soon, but it should be Winnie just fine to go back to farming.
Yeah, and he's going to show back up top. I think Soul was tanking that to see if he can get Gamsu to walk up, but Gamsu staying disciplined, and Shaden going to reset and then go clear out.
Playoffs Gamsu, man. I called him an elephant in the room in that first game, and maybe he's making his presence felt with his Mordekaiser so far. That would have been so big. You had pointed out the pathing for Shaden kind of wanted to go top. It would have been so huge to get Soul something or even get Shaden something on the top side, but not getting that and having that ulti timing come up for AoE, huge stuff.
Yeah, Gamsu, you know, trying to go 3-0 on this Mordekaiser this split. It's been good. A couple games that he has busted out. It is definitely a counter pick that he is willing to play into the tanks. And EG, looks like they might be trying to counter a Rift Herald from AoE with a Dragon of their own. I think they realize, like, hey, Gamsu's really strong and really tough to move on the Mordekaiser. We're better just playing for the Dragon, maybe buying a little bit of time for us later. So is EG on the back foot, as this is a comp that we think gets outscaled and has to snowball. So I think EG trading down a little bit. We'll see if AoE can actually just pull off the trade. Smoothie is getting very frisky here.
They are. Level 6 is there for Lynx, so is Mobilities. Shaden already had started up that Dragon, so this is first objective going to EGC. You have that Rift Herald on the other side, though, so I would expect AoE to pounce on that opportunity.
Yeah, when he's starting it up, and you can see Shaden's just clearing out the rest of his camp, so this will be sacked. for free. So just a heads-up trade from each of our teams. A little bit slower games here that we've had in the game 3s, Mazel. Our players maybe feeling a bit of the nerves, a little bit.
A little bit, just a little bit, but that is where we get ourselves to an elimination match, right? This is the first of its kind for these players in this whole split. We have two best of twos in our regular season, right? These are our first best of threes, and it was a double elim. This is the first time that a lot of these players are feeling the pressure of, especially for EG, your season's done. And for AOE, you're going to a relegation promotion match.
A lot on the line as EG, they'll at least answer the Herald with a plate of their own for the Zeri. Of course, Herald has the opportunity to get more, and it's not like minions were denied from this Jinx, so I still think it is AOE stepping up early. And EG, they did take that flash away from Gamsu. I mean, maybe that's a potential gank play, but they wouldn't have to. I mean, Gamsu can always just press R and get out of it, you know? So it's really is kind of a clever answer to this Sejuani-Viego combo.
That's what's so huge, is you can literally just take out the fight. They don't have to put any resources towards Gamsu. Gamsu's going to be perfectly fine up here, unless you can capitalize when the ulti's down, things like that. But the cooldown isn't that long, and you can kind of have that one up as a defensive measure.
I can see Shade. I mean, Shade is just kind of a... I don't want to say he's lost on the map, but there isn't anything that he can really play towards. So we'll see. Maybe he's able to get up in the face of Winnie. Like he's up a longsword. Yeah, that's sort of
something to write home about. Yeah. What kind of letter is it if you're writing home about the longsword?
Not a great one.
Not a great one.
But everything counts. So I think that's the attitude. As AOE, they just take control over the bot river. Again, as this game moves forward, you can see how Jinx does outrange that Zeri. So without the Lulu, that is one way that Zeri is able to step up and actually interact with the Jinx. That is something that we saw the range be a big difference in the second game of this series, with the Felios getting consistently outranged by the side of EG in their composition. Zeri going to suffer much the same here.
Definitely is, and you wonder, at least at this point now, when you try to find those ins here, you are seeing a little bit of movement from EG to collapse on this movement from AOE, but right now it's just for vision. We had that such a late dragon take, at least from EG, that we're stalling these timers a lot, and both teams are kind of just fishing while we have these down timers, because typically the dragon timers are a little bit more synced up with these kinds of spikes.
And each team, I mean, also just realizing what's at stake. This is the season. So, as you highlighted, Mazel, a little bit of calm, a little bit of curiosity. We'll see when the action actually takes place. As Ryoma.
Speak of it. Got the perfect execution there available. It does have to use that one out. You had Winnie with that Rift Herald, though. Getting to about a quarter of the timer left. Would love to see if it goes over to Darkwings or Lynx, as mid lane or bot would be that absolute focus for them. You can see where they kind of want to drop those resources.
And this is really where, you know, as you highlighted earlier, Mazel, AOE, this is an experienced team. Even if they are a provisional team, I mean, these guys have been playing a while, playing together for a long time, and playing a while, you know, at the collegiate level and this level as well. And this is, I mean, that experience really pays off in a game like this. You know, having a player like Winnie that you can really rely on. You know, this is a provisional team, but it's not like they're at a huge disadvantage when it comes to experience up against EG.
That's the biggest thing, I think, is when you look at some of the track record of both sides. I know we've highlighted a lot through this best of so far, but it is interesting to see kind of the stars align for a lot of our semi-pro stars on AOE, and the fact that EG were trying to make the stars align with this super-powered roster, right? That trade over for Shade and trying to build a roster around that. And while both teams have taken their lumps throughout a really tough season, AOE have definitely had that more prominent. They are the provisional team, while EG were stuck scratching our heads at moments. But it is that pullback of Game 2 that stops that scratching, that lets you know that EG are still alive and kicking.
This is a team that we had expectations for. I haven't really been able to see the full team first off, but also haven't been able to see them reach those expectations. This could be the last opportunity for them to show us, at least in spring, as Rift Herald's gonna get in. Nice chunk here. As Soul's here, I don't know if they know about this.
I don't think they do. Darkwing's having a flash when he tries to go back in. The double cycle and knock up there. Soul has his armor shredded. And there's the double knockup from Skytech. You get first blood for AOE, and Skytech's Rel pick already coming in clutch. Lynx able to help get a little bit of damage down, but now he needs to be a bit careful. Dragon has spawned, so AoE straight to the objective.
That was a huge re-engage from SkyTech, and now EG, they have tools to poke. We'll see if they can force AoE off the Dragon at all, but no. Okay, EG, they've given it up.
Let that one go?
That's all. Gonna let it go. Really big plays from AoE. And yeah, thank you to our observers, highlighting Gamsu just picking up all the plates in the world on the top side too, as Soul made the roam down, and SkyTech turned it on its head.
The fact that Lynx gets that kill, he was on that power spike of the Kraken Slayer in that fight, and that is, I feel like, what makes a big difference in terms of damage output. But it's EG that try to get something here, and that re-engage, as you highlighted, so key.
I mean, it's a good look from Soul. It's honestly a really nice reaction here from Darkwings to flash that. I think if he goes down, things get bad, because at least Shading can play off a reset, but he flashes out. SkyTech has a brilliant re-engage, and AoE, they have the numbers, able to turn it on its head. EG lucky to only lose one, quite frankly.
Yeah, honestly, Ryoma getting very, very low there in the end. Did see Gamsu taking all those plates as well, and a 2,000 gold lead developed by AoE, but we found them in this position last time as well. EG were able to take consecutive team fights and pilot their comp, but we needed them to have more of a lead here in this third game specifically, Cubby.
They get outranged. Like Orianna Jinx, it's so hard to play into from behind because like, whenever you walk in, you're just going to take so much damage from them being ahead. That's what EG, I mean, we saw that be a factor even in game one, like going all the way back to there. Keep in mind, I mean, it was another Orianna game for the side of AoE. EG just kind of like, continually made plays in the Xayah Rakan Ori and got cooked for it when they didn't work out when they were behind. So I think range has been a big factor in the series. EG, they whack it this time around, so they're going to have to be really smart about where they walk in, especially now that they are behind, because at the moment, it's all AoE. They're on this Rift Herald, and EG is looking for any plays they can find.
Yeah, second Rift Herald down to AoE here. See if they can get that to Darkwings or Lynx again. Really giving Ryoma this side lane tower would be a nice little influx at least there, but it is still looking at the future right now for AoE.
It is at least one win for EG, the fact that Ryoma...
First tower!
If you play into Orianna on the side, you are going to be in okay shape, so well done by Ryoma and EG to find that matchup and actually get something out of it. But while that was going on, still second Herald going over to AoE, and they can turn that into more.
Still a lot of standing gold there. Obviously, we just said that was first tower going down, and the mid lane, obviously, is probably that focus now that we've gotten Lynx trading over there. But Gamsu will get the tower for AoE in the top side. We'll see, looking at some of this gold across the table here, you got about 1,1700 for Gamsu alone in the top side of the map.
And like Mordekaiser
has 0-0-0, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Mordekaiser has good targets this game. Like Sejuani, obviously, you're melting through a tank, but also taking Lulu away from Azeri can sometimes be the biggest target. Like, because you just one-shot the Enchantress, right? Especially if
so already on 2 items, by the way.
Yeah, and those are a strong 2 items for Mordekaiser. He loves to brawl. As Rylai is going to keep everyone close, and he gets the Jock Show passive that should be able to proc when you are that Mordekaiser in close range, keeping everyone tight with the Rylai's. Like the build, and let's see if Gamsu can keep that Mordekaiser win rate, the split perfect.
Yeah, Gamsu, man, he's always a trouble, and I think AoE using some of this fright play to their advantage. Now we're looking in mid lane for a bit of a stack from 4-man squad of AoE, but EG are here in full. Ryoma's coming up with a flank. It looks like AoE baited into this fight a little bit, actually pulling out just in the nick of time, able to get those flame chompers out.
So Soul was here. So Soul actually sacking a wave. He'll go catch it now, but he knew that Gamsu was going to have push, tried to make a move. I like that play from Soul, but EG not able to pull the trigger. AoE gets out. And now EG on the back foot for this Dragon setup, as Soul will have to fix this top wave before he can rejoin the team.
Go respond to Gamsu, and I don't expect seeing Gamsu really need to join a lot of these fights if he's just going to continuously winning the side lane. I do wonder if we get a swap up of sides at least, but I mean, Dragon's coming up, so I wouldn't expect that just about. But maybe after this Dragon comes through, kind of AoE trying to pressure the other side of the map that still has full towers.
And I mean, this Mordekaiser pick is just so... It's so Gamsu because like he's just neutralizing a lane entirely, but like we've seen EG have a lot of success flexing Sejuani with the Viego. Like when we were running the highlights in the pre-show about, you know, hey, Shaden, like, this is the player he can be. It was these drafts, right, with the subs. And it just completely neutralizes it with one pick in the draft. Smoothie.
Oh, no, Smoothie. That's a flash down. Not going to get caught just yet. That would have been a big pick right before the dragon. But it is a big summoner spell down.
Skytech can now flash combo the Lulu. And that's really, really important. So hopefully Shaden doesn't get caught here. Wukong would be able to spot him if he was around. But no,
okay, so they are
beats us.
Actually bringing Gamsu back up towards top side. Okay, he was roaming towards mid. But it is just that second dragon sacked over and given to AOE.
Can Gamsu get cut off on his way back? Nope, he's going to go through the lane at a word too. I mean, if he gets cut off, he just presses R, you know, it's not fair.
Yep, we saw that already in the early gank by Shaden. I think Shaden decided, oh, I'm not going back there. That Rift Herald does finally get used in the mid lane by Winnie. Getting some gold over to this outer tower for Lynx.
I mean, what a solid game so far from AOE.
Look at this, though. Look at this. Look at this. EG is trying to make a play. They brought Soul here. They're TPing behind, but AOE tried to capitalize it. They're already excited now as Darkwings kept off Shaden mobility.
Win this.
Starting to fire away. They got a TP coming in from the darkness himself in Gamsu. Ryoma tries to go for a quick play. He can't get the damage down, though. And the Glacial Prison comes through, but it's right onto Gamsu. And AOE dissuade an intested fight on EG, and now they take a tier 2 tower.
I thought Darkwings was caught out around the corner there. Ryoma had a good look, but the flash from Darkwings got him out of the backflip from Ryoma. No follow-up from the Akali. Didn't want to go 1v5, try and get Shade in the reset. EG, they lose one. They drop a couple turrets, and the gold lead expands for AOE. They're now up 4k gold 20 minutes in, Mazel. That's significant.
That's a lot more significant than what we got last game. We'll take a look back. It was a bit crazy, but that charge from the Rift Herald makes the difference to separate and not leave EG with a lot of space to work with.
And, Smoothie, he lost the flash. It was for one zap. They take him down. It's free. Well played by the side of AOE. But Shaden found Darkwings in the back half, and I thought that EG, they have a legitimately okay angle here.
Winnie blocks that combo, though.
Yeah, so Darkwings flashes it. Winnie, steps up, eats it, knows his job, really well done. Gamsu, if he ults Ryoma, maybe he gets something, but wasn't able to get it off while he was in the shroud, so all good. AOE, they're really happy with that play. They feel really good about this game right now.
What I love so much is Winnie is trying to make calls like that. We've talked from him from week number 1 in our regular split. This guy wants to be the shot caller. He wants to be the person that leads the way and brings AOE over the mountaintop. And doing little things like that, while it might not be the biggest example of it, it is that example that AOE are playing together, and it's working so well in this game 3. Such a pivotal game.
And things are only going to get harder here for EG. I mean, once Wukong gets the Black Cleaver, how much more damage is Jinx going to do after that? It's so easy for Wukong to apply the Cleaver to everyone with his ult. EG, it feels like this Viego just was never able to get off the ground to get running. It got shut down.
So much prop to it.
You have lanes to play through.
It's literally one of Shaden's big picks, what we've seen him destroy our regular season with, and it was a pivotal game to pick it up in. Winnie has already played 2 games on it, but this response and the way that they played, it was not the solution for Shaden.
Yeah, it didn't have lanes to play through. Like,
they're literally 0-0 across Ryoma, Shaden, and mobility. You cannot have that.
Oh, Soul.
A little bit of catch out here. Maybe they'll get one as Soul will pick up that kill. It's a Baron potentially started by EG. A little bit hesitant there. I saw one person hit it. Everybody kind of walked away.
No? Oh, wow. They don't pull it.
Yeah,
okay.
I was going to say, I think that was a one-man crew.
If you're going to pull it with anyone being down, it's Orianna. That's where I would try and pull it. So kind of surprised that EG didn't push, but they do have lanes to fix. So I guess just going to take the kill, get some gold. It's a pretty solid shutdown that was able to be secured by Soul. Not the greatest member, but, you know, he'll take it.
Oh, Lynx. Okay. That's a little bit scary. The EG, they maybe pulled the trigger, not realizing where Gamsu is potentially after he just cleared that, but he was clearing that wave down there. But it is a little bit of reservation coming through for EG at this point, and still trying to farm up as much as possible, get mobility to this second, to this third item, and really be that point of power for him. Still a long way off.
Yeah, I mean, Lynx still up 1k gold. That's so big on the Jinx, especially because you outrange Zeri. You can keep her at bay. The Lulu can help, but only so much. 1 minute until Dragon spawns. Mazel probably going to see action over here as Ryoma. Oh, that E got canceled. That's big. Darkwings Hold on, skirmish.
Wait,
we have a fine.
Out. In the
Lynx is found.
Lynx is all by himself again. Heartbreaker. Shut down to Shaden. They didn't even catch Ryoma in the end because of the pull of pressure that happened. And Lynx, that's a flash down to Death God, and EG take in the pressure.
And that's a shutdown going over to Shaden on the Viego. He can finish that Kraken Slayer now when he gets back to base. Really big that EG is able to find that, take Jinx off the map. 20 seconds before the Dragon. I think EG are just going to reset, take the gold, and give up that Dragon. They can play fast towards Baron if they want to. Dragon's okay to give. I mean, I know it's Soul Point, but it's a Cloud Dragon. It's whatever. EG making some good plays as AOE just now rotating together as a team, taking a couple of aggressive routes. Darkwings got caught at first. Now it's Lynx. That can't happen if you're going to be playing this big two-threat comp.
You absolutely can't, and it's such a point of power for EG. Now they'll use that to take a second Dragon here, and hesitancy now in the court of AOE.
I will say, there was a window here for AOE to go hit Baron. If EG, like, because they stayed on map to take this Dragon, they have to reset now. If AOE plays around this Baron really aggressively, they might be able to pull things, but they can't do it because Lynx went to take the pit stop and take the red buff. It is very important to have that on Marksman at that point of the game. This is the window, though, where AOE, they're going to have push in all three lanes. If they start Baron on this wave, they could pull TPs out of EG or pull Soul out of the bot lane. Once he's spotted here, I think AOE is going to play really aggressively around this Baron.
See Gamsu just setting up that side lane here. AOE actually collapsing onto this tier 2 tower onto Ryoma, but they don't have that angle just yet, and they're really just fishing in this topside jungle for EG.
Darkwing's doing a nice job of keeping everyone at bay, utilizing the slow of the Orianna. As Shaden, he's getting frisky. Oh, we're popping.
Darkwings is in some trouble here. There's the big Wombo combo, though, coming out. TP from EG isn't going to be fast enough. Skytech got one of the kills, but now Ryoma finds Darkwings. You don't have those resets, but you still got some damage. Here comes mobility as Ryoma has got a double kill for Skytech.
I mean, Shaden got one shot. They all jumped in the Orianna. She just pressed R. Yeah, Darkwings went down, but everything was taken away by the side of EG. Ryoma Shaden pushing way too hard, and now AOE, they're going to start the Baron.
There's no smite on the side of EG. There's only a little bit of damage from mobility. Soul will try to tank up the front line here, but about half health goes this Baron. There's not much left here. Mobility, will he make this big play? He has the lightning crash. That AOE would do wonders, but it's the Baron over to AOE, and now they're fighting Soul. You should not have been there, and AOE will have full advantage in this game. 6,000 gold in the lead.
And the play top, I mean, like, there's no need at the moment for EG to go for this. I think they can find Darkwings, but everyone piles into Skytech to Winnie. Look at the knockups, look at the Wombo. You're just jumping in, opening yourself up to a huge combo. If you cannot take down Darkwings first, you can't get Shade to the reset. He dies immediately. That's when the fight's over. If Diego's not getting resets, EG aren't going anywhere in this game. Ryoma gets shut down afterwards, and EG play their hand too fast, get taken down, and AOE now back in complete control.
Cards are slipping out of their hands at this point, falling all over the floor. And with this AOE, even though they are tied up in Dragons, they will push forward. They have 2 minutes on this Baron buff. As Darkwings get caught out here by EG trying to ramp around, but they're just trying to find some vision to keep tabs on AOE while an outer tower falls to Lynx.
AOE continue to clean up the map. 7k gold in their favor.
That's 3 items on Lynx.
Yeah. I mean, 3 items on Gamsu as well. This Mordekaiser is terrifying with the Demonic Embrace plus the Rylai's. Shaden losing angles as the map closes in on EG.
And again, I just have to reiterate, last spring, Evil Geniuses Academy were the first team to get knocked out of our proving grounds. While this is a different tournament, we don't want to see the same thing happen twice in a row for EG fans. And AOE trying to put the cementation on that gravestone.
Good flank.
As Darkwings catching him out a little bit here, though. As Ryoma overextended, there is Darkwings getting low. The resets are there now. Shaden gets 1. Now he gets 2. And that could be huge. Lynx walks up into melee range. And here comes the Glacial Prison. He finds another. But it's mobility that's helping clean them up. Shaden will not fall. Oh, he does. Gamsu gets 1 back. Ryoma gets a shutdown, and that's an ace for EG.
I mean, Jekyll and Hyde for Shaden and Ryoma. They threw the game, and then they saved it the next fight as they find Darkwings. What a TP coming in from Ryoma to get behind the Orianna. Ultimately finds 1. Ryoma just waits in the shroud, catches the rocket, takes down the Orianna, then Shaden's off to the races, and EG because they got the vehicle resets first, they were actually able to turn this fight around. They just wiped AOE, down 7k gold, down a Baron. It didn't matter the team fight position for them. It was better, and EG cashes in. And Mazel, this game's starting to bang a little bit.
It is indeed, and honestly, wondering, I mean, I love the all-in nature that AOE went with there. I don't think there was a reason for y'all just to pile into a choke point there.
No.
And beautiful pile back from EG. And we were saying there was like a 6,000 gold lead before, and now it's down to 4. And AOE
7K.
reeling a bit.
I mean, that's big shutdowns going over to the side of EG. Look, Shaden, he's got a stopwatch now. Zanya's completed, so he can go golden
Third
again
item
if you're
for mobility.
Ryoma. Yeah, I mean, that's really big, that the fact that EG was able to get some gold in their pockets. I think the scaling advantage is in favor of AOE, but it's not like EG, and they have a Zeri Lulu, man. It's not like they don't scale at all. It's really big that EG was actually able to fight back and remove Baron off of everyone.
Uh-oh. Mobility does have flash, so does Soul, so they won't get caught by this wraparound, but AOE definitely trying to punish. There is a dragon coming up, and that is a next fight, Soul point for AOE.
It's a sack from EG. It is full sack. It is. Shaden's getting a wave up top. I think it's the right call from them. But, oh, man, EG. I mean, just when we thought they were down and out, Mazel, this team, I know they've had their struggles this split. Things have not been easy in the EG camp, but what a way to fight back and make this game interesting still. As each team playing for their lives of the split, EG are not going down for free.
They are not, and rightfully so, as a challenger team facing up against a provisional team. And we said, you know, maybe they heard, maybe there's a little bit of oomph in the tank here from EG, because they do not want to be the ones eliminated here. They do not want to end on such a sour note to finally getting some of the pieces working for them. I know it means a lot to them to win this game, to kind of solidify themselves, and AOE right back at them. This is a brink of a relegation promotion tournament at next month that they would be at least staving off for the at least near future if they could take down EG here.
Oh man, I mean, I was counting this game out, man. I was like, oh man, like EG, like they got scaled, like they're on 7k gold, like how can you combat with a side lane siege into Ori? And then just what a TP from Ryoma to actually make that play work for EG. We have to keep our eyes on these TP wards. As EG, they've been trying to find any and all angles that they can to open up a reset for Shaden. I mean, you got to imagine it's going to take a couple more fights from EG. They have so many objectives to go through. They're in it for the long haul. Not easy, given the comp and given the draft that AOE has. But, jeez, man. Our teams are feisty down here in Challengers. It's fun.
And that's where playoff breeds the best of competition. Best of threes, finally, after an entire split of waiting. And we get some bangers back to back here today.
Oh, wait, Shaden split? Hold on. Okay. I thought for a sec that AOE was about to pull the trigger. Shaden was kind of around that wall. That he's going to get the blue for himself. Be able to sneak back in. Smoothie's kind of stuck, though.
A little bit. We got the side lane push from Ryoma over there, trying to deal with a little bit of the pushing lanes here. We do have that Baron spawning in about 15 seconds. We actually see a lot of members of AOE around this.
AOE with the Jinx and Ori, you get mid push. It's always going to be a catch for EG, so not surprised that AOE is going to get control. I think for EG, it's just about controlling the side.
Look at the deep flank vision wards, though. I will just point those out right now for EG.
Yeah, that's a good call out. There's a big one on that brush that leads to the river from AOE's side of the map, and then also that blue brush. There's a control ward that has not been spotted. EG want to get real feisty. It could go for something there. So EG, they don't have full information at the moment, but they feel okay with where things are at. I think they have enough to know that, hey, they aren't on Baron. We're okay in that category.
Just feeling out some of this vision here. They will be spotted out by AOE's aggressive vision on the enemy side of the jungle here, but we're just getting a bit of buying of time. Another dragon in 2 minutes, so not a soul at least to fight for it just yet for AOE. But if they can play out some of this vision, makes things a little bit more hesitant from EG. You can use some of this power and maybe even get some of these item spikes going, because we did get third item for Winnie. Got the GA, but we're really waiting on that fourth there for Lynx.
We'll reset here for AOE. Of course, they are on Dragon's Soul. Could secure that when that comes up here in a minute 40. I mean, for a GA for Lynx, that's massive. I think Lynx has to be the big hero in the next fight. He has not a lot of... There isn't like pure repositioning for Lynx, but there is so much AoE wombo that if AoE are able to find that front to back, I think this is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
So, like the ways, there's another GA now for Wukong. AOE is going to be so strong in this next fight. It's going to be really difficult. Because, I mean, Ryoma, if he takes down one target, I mean, a GA, like, that's a lot. That's a lot of the power of Akali taken away once the GAs get up and once there's the Zanyas.
Look at this. Look at this. We got the Elixir of Iron picked up by Winnie. We know how much this next dragon fight means for AOE to wrestle back control. That gold lead, yes, it's big. It does not matter as much. But we've seen the resets go for Shaden. Those are the big focuses. Can Link survive? And can EG find a reset for Shaden and get Ryoma those kills?
And Shaden, I mean, he has to be so careful like when he picks a spot, too, because he can just get ulted by Thompson. That's it. And that could just be it. So EG has to be very careful. They're still trying to play around this Baron, seeding dragon control. Ryoma still is not with the team. He's showing on a wave. He does have TP if he needs to join, but not the case at the moment.
So got that deep TP ward if you want into the blue buff or EG. To be the dragon spawning, maybe pulling a little bit of pressure. But you see EG don't want to wrestle anything in the mid lane. They want to threaten potentially turning onto the Baron if AoE goes for this soul.
And they're 7 seconds out, and Winnie just spotted everyone from EG. So EG, game of chicken's over. Yeah, they're going to tickle this Baron and see what happens.
They do it pretty quick. Mobility on the Zeri on 3.5 items. Ryoma waiting on the sideline. As now Winnie will show that the Baron is there. Gamsu being pulled off the dragon now as well to try to get into the fight. He does have TP, half health on the Baron. Oh my goodness, the Cyclone goes through the double engage now. There comes Gamsu. Nice engage from Skytech, but Ryoma, they can't find the damage onto the backline. Mobility makes it out of that engage, but AoE, they've dissected and split EG apart at the seams. And AoE will take that fight. It's a clean ace, and that is it. AoE push for the base.
Oh, they didn't even need the GAs, man. Everything the AoE had, it stays up as that fight was clean. And props to Skytech again on the realm. He found a huge engage on the back half. Opened up way too much space for Lynx.
Man. AoE are feeling themselves. This is the still alive dream for AoE. And for a second consecutive spring, EG will be our first Challenger/Academy team eliminated from our playoffs. What a series from AoE and a pullback from that devastating game number 2.
That was a hell of a game 3. I gotta say, EG found the clean ace to actually keep on making that a game, right? EG were still in the game somehow. I kept on saying, hey, we like the scaling, like Orianna Jinx, really tough to play into. Finally came to fruition in that last fight, as AoE pointed out. Huge for them. Not only do they dodge out on promotion relegation, but also, given how the tiebreakers work, they have to win no matter what coming up. Because the tiebreakers are regular season. So if they want to dodge out of that tournament, they need to win the next round, hope wildcard loses. But the fact they're still alive, man, our provincial teams continue to surprise us. CLG won a game today, and AoE won the series today as they move forward.
What a series it is, and what a show up in our lower bracket. We're going to send it to a little break. I know we're a little bit hyphy. On the other side, we'll be able to talk to an AoE member. We'll see who we got.
Welcome back to the LCS Challengers League. I am joined by Skytech after a victorious game number 3 to continue the run into the lower bracket. How you feeling, man?
Not gonna lie. After we died under Baron Siege, I thought, bro, we could actually lose this game. And it's just such a huge sigh of relief that I found the engage at the end and we clutched it up when times mattered.
So that leads me to my first question right away. Was at that point that everything went wrong and it looked like EGC were going to make a comeback? You guys got wiped off the map. Tell me how comms were at that moment for you guys to rally back your momentum.
Not gonna lie, we thought we had it in the bag, so comms got like silent for like maybe a couple of milliseconds. But we knew this was a game 3 type of vibe, so we had to keep the energy high, and we were still in a good position. So I think Winston did a really good job with that. He's that IGL, so he kept the vibes high, started screaming in the team fight. I couldn't even hear anything, and it was good.
That's good to hear. You like to have that energy in these very high-stress moments. Talk to me about the Rel pick. No one else really plays this champion. I do remember you locked it one time in the regular season. What do you value in this pick?
Not to like give the strats away, but I feel like it's a really greedy pick. I feel like if I could survive lane with it, I feel like I could this series. It's just really comfortable for me in team fights. So I just thought I could get away with murder and just pick it.
All right, this leads me to my first little fun question right here. I got to ask this, and Grapes would kill me if I didn't. His question is always, what is Sky's tech? So I want you to take 2 champions. They're currently not viable, but on the cusp of being viable in the support role. Tell me what they are.
Could I use ones that I've already played before, or do I have to like reveal the secret tech?
Okay. You can take one you've already played before. One, if it's a draft thing, don't reveal it. Give me a solo queue one if you can.
Low key, I was actually debating on playing Vi this game. Like I thought about it to the very last second. I think it was good into their comp, and I just felt like just laning 2v2, we could have just got away with it. And then for a secret upcoming pick, you can try Swain support with Radiant Virtue and Glacial into some melee matchups. And good luck, have fun. Hopefully your teammates don't flame you.
And that makes me really curious as to what you actually have cooking for AOE. But hey, I'm not going to let you spill the secrets there. That is okay. Let's look at the lower bracket now. You guys are still surviving. Is there a difference in feeling when you're on these very intense games from the lower bracket compared to the upper bracket where you do have that extra life?
Yeah, because especially for a provisional team that moved out to LA, it's kind of like if we lose, we just go back home to the 6 back in Toronto, take that walk of shame to the plane back home. So there's just a lot more lying on this end, so the pressure's a bit higher.
I mean, you got to do it as a provisional team because it sends you that promotion relegations. Did you have any conversation about that tournament? Or are you like, we're not even looking at that, we want to be victorious?
Just don't even think about it. Just focus on our next match.
Good. Gotta have that mindset for it. Looking into the future, you will be facing off against the loser of Dignitas Challengers versus FlyQuest Challengers. I want to ask you, who would you rather face off against and why?
Not gonna lie, I think Dig has been slumping a bit. So maybe on their current form, Dig. But if it's a normal day, then I'd go against FlyQuest. I think we match up better into them.
Final question. I've heard your favorite meal is beer and wings. I want you to get a little bit more specific with me. What kind of wings do you go for? Is it like the buffalo wings, the barbecue wings?
Back in the day when I was like a little youth, I would go for suicide wings. And I don't know what it's like come down to,
Super
but
spicy?
my stomach has gotten boomed since then, so I turned it down a notch and go hot wings.
Are you gonna get any wings for your celebration after this dub?
Maybe if the boys are down, I'm down.
Last one. I know you're into hockey, Cubby. By the way, and big into sports. If you're ever here in LA, what you are, by the way. You know, if you ever want to see a hockey game, just hit him up. Take him alongside with you. You know.
I'll only watch if it's the Leafs playing, like Toronto. Then I'm down.
All right. We'll keep an eye on those schedules. Any shoutouts you have before we let you go?
I think just for today, to keep it simple, I'll shout out the team and the coaches. There was a lot of talk happening just based on draft, and we wanted to switch things up. So it was good that everybody was there and was comfortable with what I wanted to play. So just shout out to all the boys.
All right, congratulations on your win, SkyTech, and I want to wish you the best of luck going forward in the lower bracket.
All right, peace.
All right, and off that note, let's bring back our casters. Woo! Cubby, I got it in for you, man. I got it in for you.
What are you trying to do over here?
I'm trying to help you make friends, man.
I'm working on it, you know?
After you flamed Josh and Rafa, we need to find you new friends, all right?
He's got to be paired up with it tomorrow. That's going to go.
That's true. That is true.
I'm going to clip those. I'm going to send it to him. We'll see how the spiciness gets over there.
Let's pull up the bracket to see how things are shaping up as we close out this day right now. I want to see, personally, how things are going.
Ooh, gracious, man. C9C versus Fear.
Ooh.
Oh, I cannot. Oh. I got a lot of games to VOD review today. That's what I'm picking up. But congrats to Fear on the 2-1 over Golden Guardians is the man. I mean, that pretty much solidifies the fact that they are going to be in the league this upcoming season. Don't have to go to the promotion relegation tournament. So huge congrats to them on the win, but also that I want to see Fear again. So that's really exciting for me too.
Mazel, you got anything you're looking at on the bracket?
Oh, just that top matchup. I will say the Cloud9 versus TLC matchup 2-0 to Cloud9. Interesting. I'll have to go take a look at that one especially. But man, we had to say goodbye to a couple teams today. Obviously, CLG Faith will be in that relegation tournament. EGC we have to say goodbye to till next split as well. And while we do have some really banger matchups coming up as well, we've had some very interesting developments already so early into our playoffs.
It's such a fun ride once we hit into playoffs, but that is going to do it for the broadcast. My name has been Desrux. Over here we've had Cubby, we've had Mazel. They've both done an excellent job. Go ahead and give them a good clap and a TY in the Twitch chat. A big thank you to Rallycry and Monkey Bubble for being our broadcast partners. Shout out to our observers as well as Emily, who's recovering from an illness right now and still shows up to work to get that ship going. A special thanks to the LCS Profiles team, Delfino, Edgyhoon, and more. I used a lot of their stuff for our segments today, and it was very useful to just go on a website and have all that available. Big thank you to you, the viewer. A reminder, playoffs continues tomorrow, so be sure to tune in the same place, same time. We'll see all your beautiful faces there. Have yourself a great night.